If you are doing the IGNOU MJMC degree and you have reached MJMP-120, this video is the one you need. In the next half hour, we will walk through the whole dissertation, exactly as the School of Journalism and New Media Studies has published it. I am B.K. Sani, founder of IGNOUProject.com, and I have guided IGNOU students since 2010. Everything here is checked against official IGNOU sources. Where the official documents disagree with each other, I will tell you rather than pretend there is one clean answer. Let us start with what MJMP-120 actually is, because this is where most students are misinformed on day one. MAJMC is the Master of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication. It is an 80-credit modular degree run by the School of Journalism and New Media Studies. You complete 40 credits each year, the minimum duration is 2 years, and the maximum is 4. The full official title of MJMP-120 is Major Project Work. In brackets, dissertation. It carries 6 credits in the second year. 1 IGNOU credit equals 30 hours of study. So 6 credits means the university expects roughly 180 hours of work from you. Now the first correction, and it is a big one. Almost every website tells you MJMP-120 is compulsory. It is not. The official program structure gives you a choice of any one, worth 6 credits, between MJMP-120, the dissertation, and MJMP-022, the research portfolio. And notice something important. Year 2 has 2 completely separate choice blocks, each worth 6 credits. The first is MJML-222, Practical Research Methodology, or MJMT-021, Internship. The second is the dissertation or the portfolio. 2 choices, not 1. The second correction saves people real money. MJM-120 and MJMP-120 are different courses. MJM-120 is a first-year theory course called Introduction to Journalism and Mass Communication. The P in the middle is what marks the project. Check your grade card before you assume. Third correction. You will find plenty of material labeled MJMP-020. That is the older version of this course, and in the older structure it was only 4 credits. In the revised 80-credit MAJMC, the code is MJMP-120 and it carries 6 credits. Same idea, more weight. Fourth correction, and this one has discouraged students who are perfectly eligible. Several sites claim MAJMC needs 50% in your bachelor's degree. The official eligibility is a bachelor's degree in any discipline, plus computer and internet access and basic word processing skill. No percentage bar is prescribed. Now the part that genuinely separates a student who gets approved from a student who keeps getting sent back. Here is the single most important fact in this whole video. Your MJMP-120 dissertation is not a fresh piece of work. It is the execution of the research proposal you built and got accepted in MJML-222, Practical Research Methodology. The 2 courses are one pipeline. Fifth correction. Some sites advertise help with, quote, the MJMP-120 and MJML-222 projects as though they were 2 separate reports. They are not. MJML-222 is a taught practical whose single output is your research proposal. MJMP-120 turns that proposal into a dissertation. MJML-222 runs as an 8-week online workshop, twice a year. Broadly, March to May serves the January batch and September to November serves the July batch. Batch here means the session in which you re-registered into year 2. You register with the school, and the school emails you the platform details. Here is what the 8 weeks ask for. Week 1, identify a research area and write 500 words on why it matters. Week 2, a concept note. Week 3, a mind map with at least 8 to 10 keywords. Week 4, a Prisma chart setting out your inclusion and exclusion criteria for choosing literature. Week 5 is where most people stall. You must locate 20 research articles, preferably peer-reviewed, and write at least 100 words on each. That is a 2,000-word block, and it carries the highest single weight in the workshop. Those same 20 reviews later become Chapter 2 of your dissertation. The 8 weeks assemble into one document, a 5,000-word research proposal in 7 prescribed sections. Concept note 500, significance and relevance 500, mind map and Prisma 300, review of literature 2,000, research problem, aims and objectives 1,000, methodology 500, expected outcome 200. There is one more component people overlook. Alongside the 8 assignments, the workshop runs an orientation on statistical application and data analysis, delivered through R software. It covers central tendency, dispersion, and tests for nominal and ordinal data. This segment carries 30 marks, and the exercises go in with your proposal. The 100 marks of MJML-222 split into 70 for the assignments and the statistics block, and 30 for a Viva Voce. That Viva is conducted by the school or the course coordinator through online mode. So yes, there is an oral examination in this pipeline, and it sits in the methodology practical. Now the hard deadline. Your research proposal must reach the course coordinator as a hard copy within 45 days from the date of week 8, and it does not travel alone. It goes with the supervisor's consent form and the supervisor's curriculum vitae. Without both, the submission is incomplete. 6th correction, and it is the one that costs students a whole session. The proposal does not go to your study center, and it does not go to your regional center. Prepare 2 copies, keep 1, and send 1 by registered post to the program coordinator, MAJMC, School of Journalism and New Media Studies, Block 15A, IGNOU. Maidan Garhi, New Delhi, 110068. And be clear about who decides. Your supervisor signs the proforma, certifying that the proposal was prepared in consultation with them and that they will supervise you to completion, but the approval comes from the program coordinator. If you are asked to revise, you incorporate the comments and resubmit. Work begins only after approval. 7th correction, and it is stated in the handbook in almost these words. Do not change your topic, or even its wording, after you have sent the proposal. Your MJMP-120 project topic must be the same as in your MJML-222 proposal. Polishing the title later is not a small edit. It is a mismatch. There is also a clock most students never hear about. Published MAJMC program guide text states that the validity of an accepted research proposal is 1 year from the date of the acceptance letter. Treat that as a planning instruction. Once the letter arrives, you have a defined window to collect data, write, bind, and submit. Confirm the current wording with the school. Now an honest gap. Because the 2 choice blocks are independent, it is structurally possible to take MJMP-021, the internship, and still choose the dissertation. In that case, you would not have gone through the proposal workshop at all. If that is your combination, write to the program coordinator before you start and ask how your proposal should be routed. Next, the 2 decisions that shape everything else. Who guides you and what you study. Supervision is mandatory. All academic counselors recognized by IGNOU are automatically eligible, and that is the simplest route. Beyond them, you may approach someone with a master's degree and 5 years of experience in the media industry, as media faculty, or as a communication researcher? Working journalists often qualify. The handbook is unusually specific about what a supervisor owes you. They introduce you to local groups and agencies. They give you letters of authorization so you can make inquiries in offices. They open the study center library for consultation. They advise on theme, on where your data actually sits, and on your work plan. And they suggest reading. I want to underline that letter of authorization because it is the most underused line in the whole handbook. For a media study, it is the piece of paper that gets you inside a newsroom, a municipal office, or a community radio station. Ask for it on day 1, not in month 5 when your data is already late. 8th correction. IGNOU does not publish an approved list of MJMP-120 titles you can pick from. Anyone selling you one is selling you a guess. What the school does publish is far more useful. A set of 17 research areas with sub-themes, and week 1 asks you to choose from it. Your topic is a narrowed slice of one of those. Here is the list, and it is worth pausing on. Media audience, media policy, alternative media, media and gender, the evolution of media and communication systems, international communication, media law and ethics, media and education, participatory communication, continuing, political communication, media and information literacy, media and environment, health communication, media and religion, integrated marketing communication, journalism studies, and the 17th, interdisciplinary approaches, which lets you combine any 2 of the first 16. The narrowing works in 3 passes. Media and the environment is too broad. No boundary, no data, no method. It gets sent back. Newspaper coverage of urban flooding is closer, but which papers, where, and over what period? An approvable title names the medium, the language, the city, the period, and the second variable. Let us build one and carry it through. Framing of urban flooding in Marathi daily newspapers of Pune and its perceived usefulness among affected residents. Specific medium, specific language, specific city, a framing question and an audience question. That is Area 17, Media and Environment joined to Journalism Studies. And notice how it sits inside your own coursework. MJM-126, Print Media, gives you the reporting vocabulary. MJM-130, Media and Communication Theories, supplies framing and agenda setting. And MJM-031, Communication Research Methods, gives you content analysis and the statistics. Evaluators notice that alignment. Your proposal is approved. Now let us build the dissertation itself, chapter by chapter. 9th correction. You will see 20,000 words quoted on service sites and 8,000 quoted elsewhere. Neither comes from the school. The published SOJNMS guidance sets the dissertation at 10 to 12,000 words, roughly 60 to 70 pages. Do confirm it because that figure was written when the course was 4 credits. So the constants are these: 10 to 12,000 words, 60 to 70 pages, 4 to 5 chapters. You may write in English or in Hindi, the school accepts both. It must be typed, and it must be bound. Let us take the chapters one at a time. Chapter 1 is the introduction. It introduces the topic, provides the context, and establishes why this question was worth investigating. For our example, what urban flooding has come to mean in Pune, why the Marathi press specifically, and why the framing matters to people living through it. Your aims and objectives are stated here, explicitly and briefly. Chapter 2 is the review of literature, and it is not a summary pile. The instruction is a critical appraisal. What has been done? What the studies emphasized? What is missing? and how your work brings a new dimension. Organize your 20 reviews in at least 2 of 4 ways: chronological, thematic, methodological, or area-wise. Chapter 3 is the research design, and this is where you earn your marks. For our example, locale, 3 flood-affected wards of Pune. Content sample, 3 Marathi dailies across 2 monsoon seasons. Coding frame, 5 framing categories defined in advance. Audience sample, 120 residents drawn by stratified random sampling from ward lists. Chapter 3 has one more demand that students routinely skip. To establish reliability, you must explain or justify 5 things: the design of the questionnaire, the appropriateness of your data collection techniques, your methods of fieldwork, the process followed for field supervision and recording, and your data verification and quality control. Chapter 4 is findings and discussion, and there is one rule that decides whether it reads as research or as an essay. Each section presenting findings must correspond to a specific research objective. Short tables and figures sit inside the text, immediately after first mention. Large ones go on separate pages, and every table needs interpretation. Chapter 5 is summary and conclusions. It opens with a brief report of the work carried out. Then the conclusions drawn from your analysis, each point stated separately rather than merged into paragraphs. And the last part states the scope for future work. That is a required element, not a flourish. Add a summing up paragraph to every chapter as well. After the chapters come references, in APA style, applied consistently, with full names and initials, complete titles and volume, number, pages and year. Website citations need the date last accessed, then appendices numbered in Roman capitals, Appendix 1, 2, 3, 4. Your questionnaire, coding sheet and sample lists go there. The front matter has a prescribed order. Cover page with title, name, year and enrollment number. Contents, list of tables, maps and figures. Acknowledgements, a list of abbreviations, alphabetically. The approval sheet and immediately after it a 100-word abstract. Your signed declaration and your supervisor's certificate. The main text begins from page 6. Now the format, and this is where the school differs from the generic IGNOU pattern. A4, white paper printed on a single side. APA fonts, so 12-point Times New Roman or 11-point Arial, 1.5 line spacing for running text. Page numbers top right and the title page counts as page 1. A running head in all capitals, under 50 characters. Text aligned left, no full justification. 10th correction, and it is the smallest detail with the widest reach. Margins are 1.5 inches on every side of the page. Not 1 inch. Almost every third-party guide says 1 inch, and several say page numbers belong at the bottom center. The SOJNMS guidance says otherwise on both counts. And the binding is specified too. The evaluation copies must be hardbound, and the covers must be black. All lettering on the bound front page should be embossed. Take that specification to your binder in writing. It is a 5-minute conversation that prevents a rebind, and almost no guide online mentions it. Now the part that decides your grade, and the part that decides whether your work is even looked at. The school publishes the exact rubric, so there is no reason to guess. Clarity of topic, language, coherence and style, 10%. Review of literature, 20. Clarity of objectives and methodology, 25. Analysis and interpretation, 25. Conclusions, 10. References, 10. Read that rubric properly because it tells you where to spend your time. Method and analysis together carry 50%. Add the literature review and 3 sections carry 70. Your introduction and conclusions carry 20 between them, and references alone carry 10, the same as your conclusions. Sloppy referencing is not a small loss. And here is where the fee trips people. It is not paid at submission. It is paid along with your term-end examination form, and the slab is set by credit weight. 300 rupees up to 4 credits, 500 above 4. MJMP-120 is 6 credits, so 500. Miss it on the exam form and your submission has no evaluation attached. There is also a mandatory plagiarism step. Published MAJMC guidance states that the final copy must be cross-checked with plagiarism software and a certificate submitted, signed by both the guide and the learner. And the handbook is blunt on substance. Do not copy or reproduce any published or unpublished project, or it will be cancelled. Now submission. And here I have to be straight with you because the official documents do not agree. The research handbook says one of 2 copies goes to the registrar, SED Division, Block 12. Program guide text says 3 hardbound copies to the course coordinator by May 15th for June and November 15th for December. In practice, IGNOU now runs a session-wise online project submission portal for final projects, dissertations and internship reports as one complete single PDF, and reports sent by email are not considered. So do this. Email the SOJNMS program coordinator, ask in writing which route applies to your session, and keep that reply. Here is the checklist. The approved proposal pro forma in original, the approved synopsis, your guide's biodata or CV, an originality certificate signed by you and your guide, the plagiarism check certificate signed by both, the supervisor's certificate, the 500 rupee fee paid with the exam form, and a complete personal copy because your submission is never returned. There is also a timing rule in the program guide that almost nobody reads. Assignments and projects can be submitted after completion of 6 months and before 1 year, read with the deadlines. That gives you the real sequence. And note this. A dissertation received after the due date is evaluated in the subsequent term end examination, not the current one. Before we close the section, a note on scope. This video owns MJMP-120. For the shared mechanics, I have separate videos, so nothing is half-taught. The synopsis video for proposal technique, the project format video for the universal standard, the project guide video for supervisor selection, and the project submission video for the upload walkthrough. Let us finish with the questions students actually ask before they commit 6 credits of effort. First, is the degree valid for jobs? Yes. IGNOU is a central university established by an Act of Parliament, and its degrees are recognized for employment and further study on the same footing as any other recognized university degree. What separates one MAJMC graduate from another is not the certificate. It is what is inside the dissertation. Second, dissertation or portfolio. Choose the dissertation if you want one substantial, citable study with your name on it. If a research degree is anywhere in your plans, if you have access to a definable field or content set, and if you enjoyed MJM-031, consider the portfolio if your strength is the research process shown across outputs. Either way, read that course's own handbook first. Third, career and scope. And I will keep this qualitative because outcomes vary by region and experience. Newsrooms and production, across print, broadcast and online, media research and insight work, audience measurement, policy communication and content analytics. And communication roles, public relations, corporate communication, advertising and development communication. Now the 8 mistakes I see most. assuming the course is compulsory and never reading the choice. Confusing MJM-120 with MJMP-120 on the re-registration form. Sending the proposal to your study center. Rewording the title after acceptance. Collecting data before approval arrives. Writing a media essay instead of an empirical study. Findings that do not map to objectives. And forgetting the 500 rupee fee. Let us take the question students actually type. Is MJMP-120 compulsory? No. It is one of two 6-credit options, the alternative being MJMP-022 Research Portfolio. How many credits is it? 6, in Year 2, which is about 180 hours of expected work. Where do I send the synopsis? To the Program Coordinator, MAJMC SOJNMS, Block 15A IGNOU, Maidan Garhi, New Delhi by registered post. Do I write a new synopsis for the dissertation? No. It is built on the research proposal accepted in MJML-222, and the topic wording must not change. Can I write it in Hindi? Yes. The school accepts the dissertation in English or Hindi using 12-point type for Hindi. Is there a Viva for MJMP-120? The published 30-mark Viva sits in MJML-222 and is conducted online. For the dissertation itself, confirm the current position with the program coordinator. Can a working journalist supervise me? Yes, with a master's degree and 5 years of experience in the media industry, as media faculty or in communication research. And how long does evaluation take? A minimum of 2 months from the date of submission, and the project is treated as part of your term-end examination. Let us recap the 8 things that matter. 6 credits, and it is a choice, not a compulsion. The dissertation is built in MJML-222. The proposal goes to Block 15A. The topic wording is locked once accepted. 10 to 12,000 words. 1.5-inch margins. Black hardbound with embossed lettering. And 500 rupees with the exam form. One last thing. Everything here comes from official IGNOU sources, and I have flagged every point where those sources disagree. Confirm your session's figures on ignou.ac.in and with the SOJNMS program coordinator before you act on them. If you want help shaping objectives or planning chapters, message us on WhatsApp. Subscribe for the rest of the series and all the best with your dissertation.